Hello, my name is Kelly Fox and today I'm talking about the math calendar. So the math calendar is an important tool to use in your everyday routine because it not only teaches kids repetition, but it also allows the children to connect real life situations to mathematics. Therefore, the calendar is a perfect way to start your day. When your daily routine incorporates a math calendar, kids retain information longer, and it's a perfect time to stretch their thinking. The math calendar is a fun way of teaching kids mathematics that focuses on the introduction of a new math concept. It taps into their prior knowledge, it allows them to collaborate with each other, and mastery of basic math skills. It's also a great way to utilize math vocabulary words and problem solving on a daily basis throughout your math lesson. I would use the math calendar from K to about 4th or 5th grade. I believe that this is a great way to allow kids to take charge as the teacher. They are able to take charge in the lesson and talk with one another about estimation skills. Therefore, today I was able to be a 1st grade substitute teacher, and a beautiful math calendar was presented in the classroom. So the second part of this video is of that math calendar and what we went through in our daily routine. I hope you enjoy. Thank you. Okay, here is an example of a 1st grade classroom and their calendar math. So we have the actual calendar, we have the data stemmed from the calendar, we have clustering as far as, or grouping with the days in school, and then we also have a chart that the kids tell me the month, the day, and the year, and then in written form. There's also how many days are left in school, and then we have counting with cubes. In other words, manipulatives. They also practice coloring in how many cubes from the cubes that we counted. We color in together how many cubes we counted for that day. So today, for example, we went over, I'm going to turn that around. We went over to the calendar and we looked at our calendar, and based on what we have had in the past, I have asked them, hey, on this data sheet, what do you think is going to be the next shape? So this is today, so ignore that. But they each looked at a pattern, so it went triangle, rectangle, rhombus, trapezoid, parallelogram. Triangle, rectangle, rhombus, parallelogram, parallelogram, triangle. Rectangle, rhombus. Some of them said they didn't see a pattern, so they didn't know. So therefore, we moved on to sides. And I said, hey, is there a pattern here? 3, 4, 4, 4, 4, 3. 4, 4, 4, 4, 3. And they said, yeah, we hear a pattern. So then one student raised their hand and said that they estimated that it's going to be a 4 today. Another student said they thought it was 3, and then the other students corrected him by saying, no, there's a pattern. It goes 3, and then there's 4 4s, so it's going to be another 4. The other part of the data sheet is congruent. There's a question, congruent. So I then asked the kids, does A equal B? So we go over to the chart and I turn around the card and it's 2 rhombuses. And so I asked them first, do these equal each other? Do these look, based on what you see, do these 2 look the same? And they say yes. And so I asked them, well, how do we know? And the student said there's 4 sides to each rhombus. So then we then counted the sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I went over, after I wrote down my rhombus, the shape, I then put in the 4 vertices, the 4 sides, and then wrote in A equals B, because both A and B are equal to each other. So I then chose a star student, and he came in and colored in 1 day. So each day they color in 1 square. So as a class we counted in tens, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, and 11. So there is 111 days left of school. So I then wrote in 111 days left of school. We then moved on to the month, the day, and the year. So the month is February, which is the 2nd. The day is the 13th, and the year is 2019. I then wrote it in word form for the children to see. And then we moved on to using manipulatives to count in fives. So I drew another 5. I put it in to my week 2. I drew this 5 from a plastic Ziploc bag that the teacher supplied. So I drew out 5. I put them in. I then colored in my 5. So I started up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we all counted together what we have so far in week 2, starting by counting in 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 21, 22, 23. So far we have 23 cubes. Moving forward, that wrapped up our day as far as the calendar math went. And as a side note, calendar math is a bulletin board of various math related skills that usually use current date or the number of days in school. So we see that. We see the current date and the number of days left in school. It is also one way to review standards during math. So this is a standard that they are practicing on with shapes, measuring sides, seeing if the sides are equal or not equal. They're also practicing counting the dots and writing in on their worksheets how many dots they see in each shape. So this is just a review. Also too, this is a great tool to use throughout the year to continuously revisit standards throughout the year. It keeps the standards fresh all year long so the students don't forget knowledge that they learned, and they keep it in their little knowledge boxes.